let's say you're at the gym and you're a fit girly, right? And you're going to the gym and you have your eye on some guy and you keep seeing him. Like, how do we approach this man?
I was listening to so much music that would make me feel really hot and sexy and pumped up and flirty and sassy. And that is the energy I was able to bring when I walked out the door. You don't need to find someone necessarily who is into the exact same things you are at the level you are. Find someone who's open to learning about the things you're into.
Talia, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you on the Broads podcast. Welcome.
I'm so excited to be here. I listen to this podcast. I mean, it's kind of surreal.
Yeah, you listen to the podcast, you're in the Broads app, you've been a Broads coach member. We've also been friends for years, probably like close to like a decade at this point. So what a treat it is when we've got two friends on the show. So thank you so much for being here. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Talia is also just like, we've been friends for a really long time, and she had a business before that we originally met at, and now she has a whole new business about dating intentionally. So I love to use this as like, first and foremost, do dating apps work?
Tara, I believe they do work. I met my husband on Hinge. I mean, I can't say, I think they work when you know how to use them properly, which is like what I talk a lot about on my show. And I really try to help, kind of like with trading, probably. You're helping people kind of shift their focus to the right things to see results. And I do the same thing with dating apps.
Yeah. So it's so interesting because we're in a world of like, everything is digital and there's so many apps out there. So like, how do you know like if it's actually working? I would say like is the biggest question when you're on.
I love this. I love a question. This is great. Well, there are a couple of different tiers of this. You know your profile is working if people are actually responding to it. So if you're listening to this and you are on the apps and no one has liked or like responded to anything in your profile for a while, this is your sign to update it. The more you update it, it's like, you get it. It's like marketing. You have to just keep kind of changing things until you're getting responses and traction. So it's the same thing. That's how you know that's working. You also know it's working if you are obviously getting dates, which is really hard. And what most people don't understand is that you need like 10 to 15 matches to get to one date. It is truly a numbers and volume game.
Isn't that so crazy to say out loud though? Yeah. Like, you know, when I think about that, I'm like, I actually met Teddy. We're almost 11 years together, and like Tinder was just coming out. So I think I was like maybe on Tinder, like early stages. But I can't even imagine like what that feels like nowadays, where it's like 10 to 15 matches. But then I think about, you know, when I did actually go out, I was still getting 10, 15 like people at the bar. There was still people around. It was just like they're not specifically matching with me. So what does matching actually mean?
It means like when you and another person on the app are both into talking to each other. It doesn't mean you like each other. It doesn't mean you're going to get married or date or anything. It literally just means you're open to a conversation. And I think that's where people get dating apps really wrong, because they're like, oh, we matched. It means something. No. It doesn't mean anything. It's basically the equivalent of making eye contact with someone and a green light of, oh, we can talk because we made eye contact and you don't seem like a weirdo yet.
Ooh, I like that analogy, because that's what it would be if you were out. You just like make eye contact, and it's really just solely based on looks, right? You don't know anything about them yet. You like just like what they look like. And so when I hear about dating apps, I'm like, oh, I'm just like swiping through photos, but like it kind of is the same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get a little more information. I think one of the benefits of the apps is that most people on them are single. Obviously, there are some bad actors on there, and there are definitely some bots and AI, whatever. But most people on them are single, whereas in real life, you don't know who's single, gay, straight, in your age range, whatever. On the apps, you have all that information. So that's why I like them. You have so much more information before you actually talk to someone. I think in real life, connections are great too. They just take a lot more legwork.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the biggest mistake when it comes to women? The biggest mistake women make when it comes to dating apps?
Not swiping generously enough. I always say that a swipe right is not a marriage proposal. It is literally just a chance to talk to someone. And once you start talking, then you can decide if you want to meet for a date. Again, not a relationship. It's just a date. So I think women need to be a little bit more open to women need to be a little bit less judgmental, I think, of men's profiles. We're not taught how to do this. We're not taught how to write about ourselves and choose photos and like people don't understand how it really works, which is why people like me are needed in this culture right now, where it's like, we can help you.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously you swiped right on your husband. Like, tell us your story. And did you know all of this before you got into the dating apps?
So I'm a big trial and error person. I got out of a long relationship and I was so excited to date and just try everything I had learned about, been reading everything. So for me, I ended up going on 64 first dates in a year, using the apps
64.
and in real life
Yeah,
connections.
that's incredible.
And then my husband was the 56th person I dated. So I actually ended up continuing to meet people after meeting him because for a few reasons, but mainly because that's my advice is like keep dating multiple people until someone proves themselves to be worthy of being in your life. It takes a few dates to get there with people. Another mistake people make is just being like, oh, we had a great connection, lots of chemistry, they're hot, they make you feel great on the first date. I'm good. We can shut down the apps. We're done. And it's like, no. You need to see how they act a month, 2 months in before you actually make that move. So to answer your question, I learned all of this through trial and error. Like I had 400 matches on Hinge and I went on 40 dates from Hinge. So like that's how I did it.
What is the app of choice? Like where should
And
people go?
Hinge.
Hinge, Bumble,
Yes.
Tinder. There's a bunch out
So
there, right?
I think Hinge is the best because it forces you to read and actually look at profiles versus just like randomly swiping. You can't do that. But the real answer is whatever is most popular in your area. So like some places Hinge is not the most popular. Maybe it's Tinder, maybe it's Bumble, but whatever you're going to get the most volume of people will be the best.
How did you know to stop talking to the other people when you were dating your husband?
Well, my whole thing is knowing what your needs are, which is like related to core values, what you're really looking for in a partner, right? What you need, non-negotiables, not surface level, like they got to be 6'4", they got to have this job, whatever. It's like, no, how do you feel around them? How do you want to be treated by them? So when I met my husband, it truly was just like okay, every date, I just couldn't find any red flags and he kept showing up the way I was looking for someone to show up. So it just kept kind of like, okay, like I'm not finding anything wrong with this guy. I don't have any reason to reject him, which I know sounds sad, but after 60 plus first dates, like that's where I was at. And I think I was still positive. Like I still was looking for the good. I wasn't just looking for the fact that there was no negative,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you had to look at someone's full like question answer on Hinge before you swipe. It's not just like a photo.
Oh no, you can just you have to like heart something like on Instagram, like you're hearting it, or
Yeah.
you're commenting on it, or you're hitting X. So with Tinder, like you could just it's like there's just a little bit more of an action there. You've swiped through, you heart, you comment, whatever. With swiping, you literally could it's just much quicker. Yeah. But
Yeah.
people still do like the first photo and move on. Like guys have to do that because women are so selective, which I get it. There's reasons why we're so selective, obviously. But guys are so selective that but guys just swipe right on basically everyone because they get so few matches. That's how that's the only way to get it. So often men will pretty much heart any profile that looks normal and not like a real person, not an AI model. And if they get a match back, that's when they'll decide if they want to continue the conversation.
Wait, this is crazy. There's actual AI models on Hinge?
Yeah. It's like
How does it
Instagram
even
too, everywhere.
work? I'm so confused. It's like, what if you're like talking to them and like want to meet up?
So when you're talking to a fake person on Hinge or on the apps, like if you're internet savvy enough, you'll know because the answers just seem really weird, or they'll start asking for your like WhatsApp, or like they'll start asking for money, or they'll start asking for just weird stuff. And it's like, it just feels like you're not talking to a real person.
Oh, interesting. So there's
Hopefully most people know this. Some people have fallen for it for sure.
Honestly, I fell for it the other day on Instagram. I posted a video and I thought it was real. And I was like, this is AI, right? You know that, right? And I was like, oh yeah, totally. I didn't know that. It's a good thing I'm not on the apps. But what happens if you're like, let's meet up in person and meet at this place? Like what happened?
I honestly don't know because luckily I didn't fall into any of that. But I think like the conversation would fizzle, or they usually, if there's something malicious happening, they're pushing for your phone number or other information about you, not actually to meet. And that's a huge red flag. Like if they're right out the gate being like, oh, my car broke down, like I need help, something like that. Yeah.
Just like scamming right away.
Like, I'd love to meet you, but my car is broken and actually like my credit cards are all, I just can't. Like, it's like that. Yeah. It's like Nigerian prince kind of vibe.
It's like Catfish. Did you ever watch Catfish?
Yes. Oh my
I was
gosh.
obsessed with that show. I think it was on for like 11 years. They just announced that they're not doing any more seasons. And I'm like, no, it was so much fun. But I'm like, it's 2025. If you're still getting catfish, like, what is going on with your life?
Yeah. And look, there are ways to avoid that. Like if you're listening and you're scared of all this, like you can ask for a FaceTime before you meet up. That's a really good way to one, have a pre-date, like see if you vibe before you actually get in your car and go somewhere for a date or walk, whatever. And two, see if you're really getting the real deal there.
Yeah, that's a great segue into just safety, especially as a woman
Yeah.
in general, like and meeting someone new for the first time. Is there like a better date to go on for meeting for the first time? And like what could you potentially like what kind of safety markers could you have in play before you meet?
Yeah. A couple of things. Always meet in public. Coffee shop, drinks, a walk, mocktails, whatever. Just somewhere public for first date is ideal. You can always let a friend or family member know where you're going, that you have a date, should hear from you after the date. You can even have your location on for someone if you want. Like there are a lot of different ways to do it. For me, like some people also have a Google Voice number if they don't want to give their phone number. I personally didn't have an issue giving people my phone number, but I know you could do whatever you want. Like you can be as safe as you want to be. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. And so like when you think about some of those first dates, if you're like meeting for the first time, like coffee shops, you mentioned cocktails, mocktails, what do you feel like is the best way to actually get to know someone to actually like do a second date? Like, is there like a checklist
Yeah.
of questions and
Okay.
things you should ask?
Yeah, I mean, the mindset of this is the first date is meant to figure out if you want to have another date. That's the whole point of the first date. So you're not looking for are they marriage material? You're looking for do I have a good time with them? So I don't like to prescribe like questions you should ask or like topics. Like I think dial in on what's important to you. Let's just say, for like Tara, I know you love travel. And if you were on a first date with someone you might want to make sure that they're into traveling like you are. They're open to having a partner who travels a lot. So you might ask questions about like, when was the last vacation you took? Like, you don't want to come in with a list of, there's no one size fits all list. It all is what you really care about. And then also, what do you want to talk about? Like, what's fun for you to talk about with strangers? And usually it's not work. Right? Like most people
Yeah.
don't like I think work is something you should probably brush over on the first date. Like, yeah, talk about what you do. I remember with my ex, like I didn't even know what he did going into our first date. I had no idea. Like, and it doesn't, it's like, okay, you're just there to have fun and have a good time. So
Yeah.
focus on that.
What are some green flags you can think of like on the first date?
Um, I think if they show interest in you, asking you questions and, you know, uh, asking questions isn't the only thing. Like, I think people hyper fixate on that a little too much. But I think, if they're actively listening, commenting on what you're saying, reacting like they're actually in the moment with you, not just nodding, okay. Right now, there's a season of Golden Bachelor on, and the guy, the Bachelor, is like the worst. Like, you can watch him if he's a perfect example of what not to do. He's like, someone went on the show and said that they defuse bombs for a living, and he was just like, okay. Like, that's a red flag. So,
The main Golden Bachelor is a red flag. Are you guys hearing that?
yeah, yes. It's oh my God, it's so bad. But yeah, I would say if they're showing interest, and if you feel comfortable around them, like if you feel like they're analyzing you, if you feel like they're nitpicking you, if they're negging you, that's a no. If they're again, I think honestly, this is where the bar is. Polite, normal, and you have a good time with them. Respectful. Yeah.
Man, that's a pretty low bar. But I guess like as an entry into meeting someone, whether that be a friend or
Yeah.
a significant other, is like you want to make sure that they are into the conversation, the relationship that you're trying to build, and also like they align with your values, which is kind of where I
Yeah.
wanted to go next is when is it okay to have, different lifestyle or different choices or different ways to live?
I love this question. I think it's a common misconception that you need to find your personality twin, which is something that Logan Ury, who's a dating expert, says. And I think that you can actually make it work if you have very different interests. What's key is that you embrace and support each other's interests. So you don't need to find someone necessarily who is into the exact same things you are at the level you are. Find someone who's open to learning about the things you're into. And ideally, there's someone who you are curious about their interests as well. So I think that's the key, is just looking for that openness, curiosity more than a true overlap. But of course, there are deal breakers. Like, again, for me, travel was one of my deal breakers. I needed to find someone who was, I wouldn't say travel, it was open to novel experiences. Like, that could be travel, it could be trying a new restaurant. I wanted someone who wanted those things. So that's what I was looking for. But it didn't have to be like they want to travel to the same places I want to go to.
What about even just like beliefs, family,
Yeah.
values, those kind of things?
I mean, that does matter, right? I think I get a lot of questions like, oh, we're in different religions, or like his parents doesn't want him to date this kind of person, whatever. Like, there's some kind of issue. And I think that you get to choose your hard, you choose your challenges. It can work with a 15-year age gap. It can work if you have different religions. You're just choosing to have those challenges. You don't have to choose that though. Like, I didn't want to date someone who was avoidantly attached. I had done that for 6 years. Is it possible to do it? Yes.
Mm.
I don't want to demonize people who are avoidantly attached, because I'm also one of them. So, like, didn't want to make that choice of choosing that challenge.
That's so interesting that you have the choose your hard, choose your challenge, because
Yeah.
we can do that in like fitness and nutrition as well. And so, what about lifestyle habits? Because that's like, a huge piece of what we talk about here at Broads. And just like what I help promote is like, someone that is into fitness, working out, their nutrition, like how they sleep and all those things. Could that person, be with someone that wasn't?
I am. I mean, my
Yeah.
husband, he's not anti-fitness or anti-working out, but he has made it very clear he will never set foot in a gym.
Mm.
He doesn't care. He loves that I do it. He's like, great, I'm glad this makes you feel good. But he literally doesn't do anything fitness related. I think he was like traumatized in high school or something. I don't know. Like, his parents probably forced him to do something athletic that he didn't want to do. And yeah, I think, but does it work? Yes. Is it my favorite part of our relationship? No. But I can accept him. I'm not trying, like, I gave up on trying to encourage him to like do a yoga class with me, or like, whatever. Fortunately, he's active enough and healthy enough to go on a bike ride, to go on a hike, to like, we're not held back by these things. But again, I chose this challenge. I chose to be married to someone who is not going to work out with me. Sometimes I wish he would, but then I remember I can work out with my friends. I've worked out with my mom and dad in the last month. Like, I can work out with my brother like when he visits. Like,
Yeah.
it's so, yeah.
Okay, Talia, what if you go into a relationship like thinking one way about your fitness journey, and then like it totally switches like as you're dating?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you want to find someone who you are growing and evolving and changing with, who's open to these changes, but it can be jarring. Like, when I first started working with you and doing broads, like we first started, you were training me one-on-one virtually. Um, that was definitely a big change. I upped my workouts to like 4 times a week, I think, when we were working together, from
Yeah.
2. And it was definitely an adjustment. It was hard, but Johnny was like supportive and open to it. So that's what you're looking for in a person, just like that supportive openness, curiosity, like we were saying.
Yeah. And how do you feel like Broads has shown up in your life and your just fitness journey? And where is it
Oh my
now?
God. I can't say enough good things about Broads, Tara. I love it so much. I started working out because I was having hip issues. So I was working with a trainer one-on-one here in Mountain View. And then like that, I got the basics down. Then I switched to your programming, and it's been amazing. I've never felt sexier. I've never felt stronger. Like, I really can't say enough good things about it. And I love also how it changes every month, because it's like, I need that variety and the challenge.
Yeah, there's definitely some novelty involved in like fitness, and that's like with dating too, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think I saw that you were going on different dates every week or doing something maybe once a month or something. We started doing that last year. And it's nice to have that like variety. And so that's kind of
Yes.
what we bring to Broads, and like to see you be a part of Broads for now, like I don't know, I want to say like 2 years or so. Like
Yeah. Almost 2 years.
yeah, you were in before we even had the app and all that. And so now it's almost been 2 years together. So it's been really cool to see your success and your progress overall.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, watching your journey also from going from no app to like this incredible app has been so inspiring. And yeah, I just love the programming so much. And it's like you know what it is? What I love about it? I wake up excited to work out. Like I literally like I look ahead or like what's going on this week? Like what do we have? And I like actually wake up so excited. And when I come home from the gym, I like tell Johnny what I did. I like show him what I so
Yes.
he's like supportive and he's into it. He's like, "Oh, what'd you do today?" Like he'll like be engaged with that. And that's honestly all I need from him. That's like all I expect at this point. Um and now, I know you've been moving into this too, but like we're gonna start a family, I think next year. And it's like mm, I love that your programming is like moving with that phase of life as well.
For
So
sure.
yeah, it's been
Yeah,
awesome.
we like to bring in all phases of life. We have prenatal, postnatal, and perimenopause and menopausal
Yeah.
women because we just want to make sure that we're support a woman in their strength journey at all phases. So yeah,
Yes.
it's been so cool to see your strength and your guns. Like I'm seeing those.
Yes.
Let's
They're
go. Yeah, let's
it's
flex
been
it
like over a
out. Oh
week. So
my
I've just
God,
been like
pec. Look at the shoulders.
I know. I'm really happy. Like I'm really really happy with how like just the strength and of course the aesthetic is great as well.
Amazing. So, okay, when it comes to like fitness specifically, what about like routines, like sleep? I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys are different, but like I wake up like an hour and a half before my husband, and I'm like, I kind of like want him to get up early with me. I'm like, yeah, it feels so good, like starting my day earlier. But at that same point, I'm just like, I can't force him to do something that he doesn't want to do, right?
Yeah.
What if like, you're getting down this like healthy lifestyle and you're still maybe pretty early on in your relationship? Do you feel like that's can kind of deter you from either your fitness journey or the relationship at some point?
Yeah, that's a good consideration. And when you get into a relationship, it does a portion of your time is going to go to that person and your lifestyles will meld in some way, shape, or form. And if you are the person, I remember we learned all about your morning routine in Nicaragua on the retreat. If you are the kind of person who has like wakes up at 4 a.m. and does all this stuff and you're in bed by 6 and your partner doesn't get home from work until 5, like, yeah, there might be some, again, choose your hard. There might be a situation where that can affect you. And if you want to get aligned with them, you might have less time at the gym or less time, or it would be harder to stick to your eating plan, whatever you have. Like it does affect things that you have to talk about it. You have to figure out that's a part of the fun of relationships. And I hope people are choosing someone that they enjoy figuring this stuff out with, that it's not
Mhm.
a total pain in the ass. For me, we Johnny's my husband, like he's super flexible. So if I'm eating a certain way, he doesn't mind eating that way too. He doesn't care about food that much. Like
Yeah.
he's like, whatever, I'll eat. He will eat chicken and rice every day if I want to. So, and we don't do that. But and for working out, for sleeping, it's definitely been hard. He changed his schedule for me actually when we started dating. He was a night owl and he changed because I have a dog and he knew that we'd be getting up early. So he literally switched his sleep schedule for me, which is kind of romantic. But he didn't have to. I didn't
Yeah.
ask.
How do you know when that's going to cause long-term friction, like in the first, early stages of dating, that's
I
going
think
to,
you'll know pretty early on. I think like within the first 2 months, if you're actually having conversations about lifestyle and if you're integrating into each other's lives, like having sleepovers, spending more time together, doing more activities together. Like Johnny he goes climbing with me. If I want to go bouldering, like he'll go. He has shoes. It's not his first choice of activity, but socially he'll do it. And like it's like something we figured out. I figured that out early on in our relationship because I was climbing a lot and I brought him along. So if you're incorporating someone into your life, you will learn what those challenges are going to be.
that's so good. And also just like being able to incorporate so early on in the relationship too,
Yes.
to know if it's going to fit or not too.
Bring someone in. Like, don't just go to do dinner dates and get brunch or like go on walks. Do the activities you want to do and bring them along. You'll learn
Yeah.
so much more. And do it for them too. Go with their activities, even if you're not super into it. Like, even if it's not your first choice. I remember, I think I've been to like Comic-Con with 3 different guys. I'm not like into that stuff, but like I'll go. It's fun to see people in costume.
There you go. I still have yet to go golfing with Teddy. That's his one thing that I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, okay. You know what? Like Johnny doesn't go to the gym with me, so it's like okay, fine. All
I
right.
know. I'm like,
You just
also,
won't
I'm
go
like, that's
golfing. It's
your
okay.
thing. We spend all
Yeah.
day together. Like you can go golf. It's great. Yeah, it's so it's so important to like bring up these conversations early and also just to have them a part of your life really early on because then you can like decide if it's going to cause this friction or if it's something that you can like, choose your hard with. But when it comes to like bringing family in or like you bringing in, let's say if you have kids or something and you're bringing kind of them involved in that, when does that happen? Like when do you feel like, everyone's different in their unique situation,
Yeah.
but how does that kind of meld into early relationships?
Definitely talk about it with this person you're dating before it happens, and your expectations. Some people are like, I'm not going to bring someone home till we're engaged, and some people are like, you can meet my mom or my dad or whatever, like if they're visiting, like right away, So,
Yeah.
I think like typically most people feel comfortable with this when they're using the labels boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever you want to use. And typically it's going to happen around 3 months. And it also depends on geographically. Like my parents don't live anywhere near me. So we waited until 6 months until he met my parents when it was the holidays. Yeah.
Yeah, you met his parents pretty early though, right? Because
Yeah. And I met them, Tara, by myself because he got stuck on in Seattle due to weather and he like couldn't leave.
oh
And
yeah,
I literally was like, I was ahead of him and I met them by myself for the first time without
I would have
him.
been like, oh, sorry, I have to go run some errands before I come over.
I had all the presents. It was the holidays. I like had all the gifts in my
Oh.
car. Like I like had to go. It was crazy. But it was funny. Like now it's like but they I think they were impressed.
Yeah, you're putting yourself in a very uncomfortable situation, right? It's brand new.
Yeah.
It's like it's basically strangers and like your significant other who I'm sure you really care about at that point that you're just like, I don't know if this is going to work out. But
Yeah.
you're a person
Yeah, I
that
think
has been on 64 dates, so I'm sure you can talk to anyone at this point.
you're absolutely right. No, I also think that people you can do it earlier than you think. It can be casual. It doesn't have to be so serious. It can be a run-in, like at the farmer's market. It could be, just or at the dog park or something. You know what I mean? It could just be very casual. It does and short. It could be the first meeting could be 15 minutes. Just a quick, drive by.
Yeah, I remember when my mom met Teddy and it was like really early on in our relationship and it was just like a lunch, which was great. But then we met his family as like a full dinner and everyone was
Right.
sitting around the table and I was so uncomfortable and I like couldn't get out of it. It was great. It was totally fine, but I'm like I'm the only one with tattoos here. I had like one tattoo on my arm. Like I was just like, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Everyone's so nice here."
Yeah, like it can be a trip for sure. And then
Yeah, but
I want to also just add with friends, I would say you can do meeting other friends after the second date. Earlier is better.
second date,
Yeah.
earlier the better.
Yep.
What
You
if they
want to
have
see
opinions, like very strong opinions?
your friends?
Yeah.
Well, tell them to shut up. Tell them to keep it just to keep to themselves for a little bit. Yeah.
Why do you say that?
I think friends give really bad dating advice because they're usually overprotective. Like they usually love you so much, they're just gonna like kind of look for reasons why it won't work. And then it really gets in your head and you're not able to think clearly about what really works for you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you worked with any people that have actually come to you and their profile or something's like not working with their profile and they just like can't figure out what it is? And what is it usually that's like holding them back from getting these dates?
Tara, it's really tough because as you mentioned earlier, dating apps are really visual. And
Yeah.
if you can't, there are certain things you just can't change about how you present visually and aesthetically. So I think that for some people, unfortunately, unless you can make your personality really shine, it can be really tough on the apps and it can be really disheartening and discouraging. And if that is the case for anyone listening, it's like you're allowed to not use the apps. You're like if you're the kind of person where your personality just really shines in person and you just don't have the best pictures or like I don't know, it's tough. There's racial bias on the apps. There's all kinds of height issues on the apps and people lie about their height for that reason and age, right? So that's a reality. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
work super well for everyone. And like I'm fully aware and acknowledge that the reason why it worked for me is because I fit into a societal norm of like beauty and, average looks at the very least. So yeah.
Yeah, you're not average. Look at your hair. Oh my
you.
God, it's always so beautiful. I love it. So if we like take it out of dating apps and we like put
Yeah.
it into real world perspective, because like again, I honestly every one of my really close friends that have gotten married over the last like 5, 10 years have come from the dating apps. So there is so much value in that. However,
Yes.
I really like the in-person thing, and I know it's harder, but what are some tips we can give women specifically on like putting themselves out there and feeling confident in themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think having a pre-going out or pre-date routine is so key. Like blast that music, find your favorite outfits that you just love, especially for a first date, you can repeat them over and over. And that for me really helped me feel confident. Music was a huge part of my journey in dating. Like I was listening to so much music that would make me feel really hot and sexy and pumped up and flirty and sassy. And that is the energy I was able to bring when I walked out the door. So I think
Mm.
whatever it is for you, maybe it's not music, maybe it's like a certain YouTube channel or even a TV show, like maybe something fun like New Girl or whatever, like something or Sex and the City. Like get that going. I think that'll really help you put in the right mindset. Also, having the right clothing. Like it's okay to refresh your wardrobe. It's okay to buy like a new eyeshadow palette or something that you're really excited about. Get a haircut, get your nails done. Like you can pour that energy into yourself. Even with training, it shows. It will show, it will shine through in person. So I think that's like the more energy you pour into yourself, the more it will shine through.
Do you feel like women that maybe are more muscular or more fit actually have a harder time or easier time?
No, I think that I don't think so at all. I think there are the guys who are like, "Oh, I don't want a woman who's too muscular. She just like fuck off." I don't
I mean,
know.
we think that. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like,
yeah.
from your
But it's just
perspective on a
like
dating.
if that's what you're if that's what you look like, that's what that's what you're working with. You're only going to focus on people who are into that. So it's like, don't worry about the guys who aren't into that. Seriously, pretend they don't exist. Don't move through the world being like, I hope they like me. You have to switch it. Like, do I like them? Do I like this, how they're treating me? Do I want to be with someone who is who isn't into that? No.
True. Yeah. No, you're
Just
right. I
don't
mean,
even, they're
like,
not even, yeah. Just, they're
okay,
not
so
doing that to
then
you.
this F okay, so that's on dating apps specifically because it's easy because,
Yeah.
like that's gonna be, but what about in person? In like the sense of meeting someone in person and maybe like you're muscular or like someone comments on that in person. Is there something that you could say or do that would make you feel more confident in like how you show up if somebody makes you
So
feel
you're
uncomfortable?
saying like if someone came up to you and commented negatively on the fact that you're muscular?
I think of it as like, I mean, I feel like this happened like way back in the day, but
Yeah.
and this was before I had all the guns that I've got now, Talia. But they would be like, "Oh yeah, like dang, you've got more muscles than me," or like, "Gosh, you're so muscular." Like, leave some
I
for blah blah blah.
I think anytime you get a comment that's like you makes you feel icky, you have to say like, "What do you mean by that?" Like dead face. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you like? Don't laugh. Don't be in on the joke. Like, what are you saying to me right now? Like,
Mm,
you know what I mean? I think that kind of puts
yeah.
them on the spot and just be like, "What are you getting at?" By the way, my dad told me that when we were working out together last week. He was like, "Your arms shouldn't get any bigger than they are now." And I was
What
like,
did you say?
"Fuck you, dad. Let me do more pull-ups." Basically.
Honestly, I think I've heard that once before. It's like, what do you mean? Or like putting the question back to them. So like the holidays are coming up. We're gonna have,
Yeah.
I've had tons of family members being like, why are you still gaining more muscle? Or like, why do you look like that? Back in the day, I don't really deal
Yeah.
with those people anymore, but it's more
Good.
just like, make you feel like what you're doing isn't exactly what you want to do and making you feel so good.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it's like their own insecurities,
Yes.
spewed back at you. But in that moment, reframing the question of like, yeah, so what do you mean? Or like, what are some other ones that I've heard before? Can you think of any that's like, are you really going to have that second plate of food? Or,
Oh, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I've heard all these things being said. It's like, I mean, yeah, I've had both my parents be like, "You're eating a donut right now? Like, I thought you were trying to be fit." And it's like,
yeah,
"Why are you commenting on my food?" Like,
yeah.
why? Yeah.
It's like, what does this do for you to
Yeah.
comment on my body or my food? Or really just like, I've had men in the past be like, "Oh my gosh, like, are you really going to gain more muscle?" It's like, did I
It's
ask
none of your
you?
business.
Like, did I ask you?
That's the thing. But that's the thing about dating. You get to choose who's in your life and friends. So it's like you don't have to interact or be with people who would think it's okay to say something like that to you. You can be like, okay, that's an immediate deal breaker for me. I mean, there's a gray area there, I guess, if they say something and you're like, what do you mean by that? And they actually are curious, or they ask questions, or they have a more open mind from that conversation. Cool, there's growth there, and maybe they'll never say anything like that to you again. But for the most part, if you don't have to date anyone or pay attention to anyone who would make that kind of comment in your dating life.
But really, like you said, that's a great point out to like be curious.
Yeah.
Is it, and I think for me personally, and for a lot of clients that have gone through this in the past, it usually comes from a negative intent. And so sometimes we can be really quick to judge without actually understanding what really the reasoning behind it is. And so if you ask that curiosity question back, it could be them wanting more advice or like trying to figure out how to get there, you know? So always having that little like curiosity back.
Yeah. Or it could be they've never dated a woman who was muscular before. And they just like don't know how to deal with it. And maybe they want to.
And they're missing out because when you get more muscles, you get more confidence and you feel like a badass. Like if somebody came up to me now, I don't know if you feel like this, and was like, oh yeah, gross. I'd be like, sick. That was a great compliment. Like I would like probably flex harder, honestly, because I just like, it doesn't bother me anymore, but I can still like, if you're just getting into fitness and you're like seeing like more muscle definition and tone, it's like your body's changing and you don't know what this new change is.
Yeah, I just would not. I would not even pay attention to that person at all, because it's like you're making these changes for you, not to please other people.
Yeah. Oh man, so good. Okay, so let's say you're at the gym and you're a fit girly, right? And you're going to the gym and you have your eye on some guy and you keep seeing him. Like, how do we approach this man? What's?
I'm so glad we're talking about this. I want more gym meet cutes to happen. I think.
Right.
Yes, like I do understand, like the gym, it's like your time, you don't want to be bothered. Maybe you want to obviously women want to feel safe at the gym. So I think, look, if you're a woman, it doesn't matter, gym or not. As a woman, you have all the cards in approaching men. You could go up to a guy and just start blabbering gibberish and smile, and he'd be so happy because like no one ever approaches men. And so you could fumble it so hard, you could be so awkward, and you would still probably get his number. So that's how easy it is.
What are we going up to him and saying?
You're just, well, okay, at the gym specifically, what I've done, and again, I used to date guys at the climbing gym. It's just like, my trick was usually wearing a shirt with like stuff, like words on it. I have a shirt that says like live, laugh, Cheesecake Factory or something. Like it's
hilarious.
It was like, I love the Cheesecake Factory. So someone got it for me as a gift. And I got a lot of comments on that. Also for my previous company, I had like a shirt that said like, yes, you can reheat rice. And I would always, so having a piece of clothing that gets commented on does help interactions, because that was an easy way to get a conversation started. But really it's just like making eye contact. It could be like a quick, like, are you still using this machine? Are you, whatever? And then you could be like, oh, I see you here all the time. By the way, I'm Talia. Like, you know what I mean? You can add that on to whatever interaction. Obviously, you don't want to approach people mid-set. You want to approach them when they're clearly getting water, on a break, whatever. I think in 2025, headphones aren't a big deal. People will just pop it out. If you wave them down, smile at them, look at them, you want to talk. If you make it clear you want to talk to them, they're just going to pop their headphone out. So don't be like, well, they're wearing headphones, so they don't want to be talked to. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Go in with a smile. They'll want to talk to you.
Yes. Okay, cool. And then so you have this, hey, I'm Talia, I'll see you around next time or whatever. You have this kind of interaction. And then the next time there's maybe a little bit more. When are we getting our phone number out?
And the gym is like a slow burn in terms of making this connection. You have to first make eye contact a bunch of times. You have to then, introduce yourself. You then maybe at the end you could be like, hey, like, well, no, not at the end. If you are able to talk about anything else, be like, oh, do you live around here? Or like, oh, have you been a member here long? You can start talking about the gym itself because you're both there. Then you could be like, oh, have you done these classes? If there's classes at your gym, like, just like kind of getting into that. And then you kind of branch out from there. And then at the end, when you're leaving, you'd be like, I enjoy chatting with you. Like, can I give you my number? And I think giving someone else your number is really the better way to go, because it puts the ball in their court. If they're taken, if they're not interested, if they're not your sexuality, like it gives them the chance to politely not text you, or just be like, I'm actually with someone, instead of asking for their number, kind of puts them on the spot.
So what if they take your number and you never hear from them and then you see them at the gym again?
You smile and you just have to kind of keep going about your business. Like, that's just is what it is. You're not going to get them all. It's okay. Yeah.
But
Like,
doesn't that feel like, I don't know, like, doesn't that feel like you're kind of failing?
if you take it that way, I think it's you're winning. You were brave and you approached someone.
I love that.
It's a practice,
Yeah.
like you're going to be better at it next time. You should pat yourself on the back for actually doing that in 2025, where like no one talks to each other. Literally, Tara, like when I walk around my neighborhood, people fucking cross the street to avoid other people. And I'm not kidding.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Why
so
do we
annoying.
do
I live
like
in
this?
like
In my neighborhood, everyone's just straight down on their phone
yeah,
and don't even look up from their phone
I
as I'm walking
know.
by. I'm like, where are we? What reality are we living in
It's
right
so
now?
sad. So like that's the win, is that you actually
Yeah.
did something really scary. And when you do it, your hands might be shaking a little bit. Your heart might be
Yeah.
going real fast. Like it's scary, even if you've done it a million times. And um, I have like one story. I met a guy at the gym. We went on a few dates.
Yeah.
We talked. We had like a flirtatious conversation, and he left before I could get his number. So I had to wait literally 6 months before I saw him again at the gym. And I got his number like the second. Like he was obviously into me too. So like the second we saw each other again, it's like we need to like connect.
6 months. Like, that's such a
Yeah.
long time.
But that's also another key, is if you go to the gym at the same time every week, like you kind of have that regular time, you're going to start to see the regulars of your hour that you go.
Yeah.
So you can start to build that eye contact connection from there.
Yeah. You had mentioned sexuality. How do you know if someone is into men or women?
You don't. That's the thing. You just have to take
Yeah.
a chance. Like, it's okay. Like, people are always like, well, what if that happens? That's a best case scenario of rejection, because it has nothing to do with you.
True.
Like, if they're taken or if they're gay or straight or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just literally, it's not on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. Okay, how can we use this in friendships? Like, maybe not necessarily just in the gym capacity, but like
Mhm.
even as we've been talking about, interacting with people more and just like not even being flirtatious, but really just like creating new friendships in different environments and putting yourself out there in situations. Like, are there different ways that we can be intentional with how we communicate with strangers in public to have a friendship later on?
I honestly think it's the same. It's the same muscles. It's the same movement of
Okay.
being approachable and actually approaching people, meaning like you're present in your environment, you're present in your world, that you're able to actually make eye contact and connection with people. Um, and I think it's with dating and friendship, it starts the same, especially when you're focusing on it in real life, because you need to establish a little bit of trust, a little bit of that we have stuff in common, and then it can either go in a platonic direction or a romantic direction. So it's like you still have to do the same thing if you're looking for friends in the wilds.
Yeah, that's so true. And there's a lot of people I know that have reached out that have, they're moving somewhere, they're trying somewhere new, and it's like it's hard to make friends, but really it's just because
Yeah.
we are in such a digital society, but there is so much still out there. It's just like you said,
Yeah.
being approachable and just talking with other people.
I've made friends through co-working spaces, actually. Like when I moved to Colorado, where we met, I made my core group of friends in Colorado in co-working. And also I sought out other communities. Like, I'm Jewish. I don't practice Judaism really, but sometimes it works out when I like can just plug into a Jewish community really easily. And I made a lot of friends that way as well. So, and again, it just like, this is the basic advice works. Same with training. It's like, go do the things you're interested in. And if there are other people there, you're bound to connect over something. So, and become friends. But the key is, you need to be proactive. You need to be the one to text them, to make the plan, to reach out and continue reaching out. Stop expecting people to do that. You need to show up that way and see if that energy is matched.
I love that you say that because I agree with that and know that it's a two-way street. So if you are the one, because I was the one for a long time that would always be the one reaching out, I'm like, we have to do this together. I understand there's things going on in not you, but in their life, but it's like a friendship, relationship is a two-way street, and we have to make sure that we are intentional with that too. Yeah,
Definitely.
So let's go back to so now we're in a relationship from the dating apps or whatever. It's like been a couple months and we're feeling good, and then all of a sudden I'm so obsessed with this person that my fitness and health goes to the side because I just like want to spend all the time with them and like do things with them. What is your advice?
As I mean, that definitely happens, right? Things get dropped. Say with your social circle might get dropped a little bit, your fitness might get dropped. I think one approach is y- you have to realize, okay, this is my new life with this in this relationship with this person. This person isn't going away, hopefully. So I need to figure out how to make it work. And one suggestion I have is talking to the person you're dating, being like, listen, like, I love being with you, but I actually really need to spend a little bit more time every week in the gym because for my mental health, just to feel good. Would it be cool if on Sundays, I know we usually do this, like, is it okay if I go to the gym? Not like you're asking for permission, but like, I'm going to go to the gym. What do you
Yeah.
think? I used to kick out Johnny every Sunday morning. Like we would spend a weekend together because I had to work. I had to meal prep. I had to like do my whole thing. So I'm like, and it kind of sucked. He didn't like it, but it's like, that's what I have to do. So you have to kind
Yeah.
of put your foot down and be like, this is for me. And what's for you is for us. They
Yeah.
need to understand that. And hopefully they do. It's like you working out and taking care of your body benefits the whole relationship in so many ways.
Yeah, I think you can say that, but sometimes I feel like even the beginning of our relationship, I was almost kind of like we were love bombing each other. We were just like always wanted to be around each other. And like
Yeah.
there's almost a point where you don't really even care to work out and do stuff because you just like want
Right.
to be with them. So like where does that come into play?
It comes into that awareness and mindfulness
Yeah.
practice. Be like, okay, you have to be aware of what's going on, and you have to use your higher self, your, whatever you want to call it, your best self. I don't know what you call it, Tara, but it's like the version of yourself that knows stuff that you listen to, your inner wisdom. Be like, you know what, I should
No
probably,
stuff.
yeah, maybe not sleep over this guy's place for the fifth time in a row, and maybe I should go home and take care of myself a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
just like that. It's like building this new routine and this new lifestyle. And it's like now that you know you're going down that path, it's like how can you continuously put in your own lifestyle too? Because like you just mentioned, it's for both of you. Like,
yeah,
I don't know about you, but if I'm not working out for like a week or two at a time, I am not a nice human.
same.
If I'm eating crummy or if I'm eating a lot of sugar or something like that, I'm just like, my energy is lower. And so all of that comes into play when then we don't get to go on as many dates. So,
Yeah.
it all kind of like works with each other. So yeah, it's easy to lose yourself when you're in a new relationship because you are excited. But at the same time, like you have to like take care of yourself first.
Yeah, it's interesting. And it's interesting that you started like you and Teddy early on were like, it's a great that you guys were so wrapped up in it. But I
Yeah.
think that was something I knew I was really aware of that. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
how do I not do that? So I made sure to like not see Johnny every night and actually continue to see my friends. And I was climbing a lot. So that was my main workout at the time and doing that as much as I could.
Yeah, yeah, that's so helpful. I've always been the
Yeah.
type of person that if I'm like all in on someone, I'm like, yeah, can we do everything together? Like
Yeah.
we still now, almost
I think
11 years later.
but also, yeah, well, yeah, that was like 10, that was over a decade ago. Like, I think with maturity comes the ability to like kind of be like, okay, I know you want to do this, but you got to do this other thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. But if it's even now, I'm like, he's on the other side of this wall. We eat all meals together. We still do everything together.
That's so sweet. That's really sweet.
It's sweet, but
Goals.
he won't wake up earlier.
What the hell?
Yeah, okay, so I love this. I mean, like obviously, a lot of what you say with just being intentional with how you date is like so similar to what we do in fitness and in nutrition. It's like if we're intentional and mindful with what we're doing, it shows up in so many other aspects. So is there any
Yes.
other things that we can leave the audience with if they're dating or not dating that they can kind of take with and run with the rest of the day?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing about intentionality is aligning your actions with what you want. And that can be in dating and it could be in your fitness and it could be in any part of your life. So I think the more you dial in and come back to what you want, what you really, really desire and need for yourself, um, the more you can align what you're doing with your life with those things. And you'll find, I think, a lot more fulfillment, satisfaction in those areas of life.
What if you can't actually figure out exactly what that is, though?
Yeah, gotta keep looking. You gotta keep searching. You gotta keep trying stuff on.
Yeah.
It's like, And it changes throughout your life. It's not like a set in stone, once you figure it out, we're all done, thing.
True.
So I think, but practicing it, like I think, putting yourself first is a huge part of this too. And I think in dating, a lot of women tend to be in that people pleasing mode. Is he choosing me? Am I being chosen? Does he like me? And it's like, no, put yourself first. Like what do you need? Do you like them? Do you even want to be with that person? So putting yourself first is, I think, a key to figuring out what you actually desire.
And to be clear, like we're not even talking about just like the over 6 foot or making this amount of money. It's like, what do you want and value in a relationship? And then how does that then reflect who you are and how you show up for yourself?
I wanted to feel peace in my relationship. And I wanted the kind of relationship where it's like so calm, peaceful, and easy that I can really focus on other parts of my life, because this isn't the only part of my life. The relationship needs to support other things. And and that's what I have with my husband. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you found your husband. He's
Me
awesome. And it's just been so cool to witness your journey of everything and now this whole dating intentionally unfolds. So where can people find you? Where can we get more information from you and see you online?
Yeah, come hang out with me, slide into my DMs on Instagram at dating.intentionally. And my podcast, all about dating, is called Dating Intentionally. It's on all platforms.
Yes, and I can't wait to be on your podcast next.
Yes, so excited.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here, Talia. Appreciate you.
Thank you.